Greetings, greetings, greetings. I am trying to see, we just had a guest with us, and I'm trying to find out what has transpired. This is Jamal Toure. Run tell that. We are not in the lab. We're not in the lab. We're here at the factory 2717. So we may need to try to find out, and I'll ask our producer to try to reconnect. Okay. All right. Great. We have our guest with us. We are here. We are here again, as I share with you all, run tell that we are live once again. Once again, we are here, but we are not in the lab. We're not in the lab, but we're in the factory. We're at 2717. And tonight, again, our special guest tonight, because we say all our guests are special. Tonight, we have the executive director for MAZE, Migrant Equity Southeast. We have Daniela Rodriguez here in the house with us, and we're glad to have you with us. Daniela, how are you?
Good, thank you. Thank you so much for having me today.
Yes, indeed. Yes, indeed. And she's from Brunswick, Georgia. She's from Glenn County. And of course, everyone know, Rontel, that all the audience, we said, y'all share, share, share. You know we're going to get into it because I already asked her a question about her high school. And of course, she's going to get the answer right at the very end. So now we're going to say this to Daniela Rodriguez. Who are you?
Who am I? Oh my God, there's too many ways to describe who I am. So yeah, my name is Daniela. I'm the executive director of Migrant Equity Southeast. I'm a community advocate. I'm an activist. I'm a community organizer. I'm an immigrant rights activist, and I'm an immigrant. I'm a daughter, and I'm a friend.
All right. Yes, indeed. That's what it's about. And because again, and for some of you, you're aware of this is Hispanic Heritage Month right here. It goes spans from September to October. And what we'll be doing next week at Georgia Southern University, we're going to have a program on African American and Hispanic unity. Because again, we're in this struggle together to bring about equity, and that's what they're about. Migrant Equity Southeast. So again, we focus on equity. So now I got to throw this out to you, Danielle. I got to throw out to you. Who are your people? Who are your people?
So my people, I consider my people the ones who are marginalized,
Okay.
immigrants, um, people who come to this country, who come here looking for the American dream, who have people who want to work, people who want to look for better opportunities in this country, and people who don't give up. Those are my people.
Okay. Okay. Yes, indeed. Yes, indeed. And you're from, again, you let the audience know, and you're from where in Georgia? Where are you from?
Brunswick.
Brunswick, Glenn County, right? I want people to understand because we got some people in Brunswick who are checking out the show, so I want them to understand. They say that's my homegirl, that's my sister right there. So again, we want them to connect. And why we say that because my next question to you is, who inspires you or who inspired you? It could be one person, it could be several people, and we want you to put it out there. People let people know who inspires you or what inspired you.
So there's definitely too many people that inspire me. I would say I love people that have done the kind of work that I do, who have done it like before me. I look, I love people who go through hardships, but like that doesn't determine that they give up, that they continue following their dreams. I love, I'm inspired by people who speak up the truth even when it's hard to do so. Like those are the people that inspire me.
Okay. All right. And so now we come to something a little bit even more personal. What song or songs give you inspiration? A song that when you hear the song, it like, whoo, it gives you a feeling, a sensation of joy, inspiration, and empowerment. So it could be one song or many songs. So what song give you that? Oh,
Oh my God, this is like a question. I don't usually get asked this question.
that's right. That was
Oh,
we're a different show. That's right.
yeah, no, I wasn't prepared for this question. Let me think.
Okay.
Mm, I really like this song that is called, I think it's called I Believe by Cher.
Okay.
Yeah,
Okay.
I really like it. I mean, this was like definitely like before my time, but I grew up listening to it since I was in Mexico. It's like a song that it just and I remember like listening to it when I couldn't speak English and I just like the rhythm. And then now that I speak English, I love it more because I'm able to understand the lyrics, and I don't know, I like the message of empowerment that it has.
All right. Yes, indeed. Yes, indeed. And we say to all those in the audience, so run, tell that share this right here. Again, you can check out the show on Facebook, ATR, that is all things relevant media, or you also go on YouTube and check it out on Our Black Media. Again, run, tell that. So now we'll come to this question for you. This is what is MACE? What is Migrant Equity Southeast? What is that?
So Migrant Equity Southeast, it's a 501c3, a nonprofit that advocates for the rights of immigrants and refugees. We make sure that we advocate and that we uplift the voices of immigrants. We believe that immigrants have a voice. We just want them to find it. It is our goal to empower them, uh, and it is also our goal to make sure that immigrants here in in the South, in many counties, like Chatham County, Glynn County, uh, that they feel empowered, that they feel welcome, that they don't forget that regardless of their immigration status, that they're humans and that they deserve to be treated with dignity and respect. So through the work that we do, we make sure to educate immigrants, advocate for immigrants, and also provide them with resources that they might need, such as direct services, such as food assistance, rent assistance. And also, we make sure that we let them know about the rights in terms of legal assistance, healthcare, housing, labor rights, like you name it. We try to help as much as we can.
Okay, okay. And why do you think why was it necessary to create MACE? Why was it necessary to create it?
Right. It was necessary to create it because we see that the Hispanic community here in Chatham County is growing so much. Um, Oftentimes, and like even me as a child of immigrants, I know that a lot of the resources seem to be in the bigger cities, such as Atlanta. Um, yeah, most of the services and resources for immigrants, especially for Hispanics, it's in Atlanta. And I know that oftentimes members of the community, like they have to travel for so many hours in order to have access to these resources. So that is when um, some other founding members and we just were like, this is not fair. Like, uh, why do why do immigrants have to go through like so many hardships? Why do they have to travel such a long distance in order to have access to services that they need? Um, and that is why we decided that it was necessary to create an organization in which immigrants or Hispanics, it wasn't just a checkbox. That for us, it is our priority. It is our priority to help these communities because we know that need the help. And also because we know that like we're ready for change. We know that Latinos, they contribute so much to the city, to the county. But now we're like, okay, so we know that they contribute. That's not even a question. But now our response to that was like, okay, so um, our people contribute so much to the city. So now what is the city contributing to them? And that's when we were like, oh, not much. So what can we do to help? We're like, okay, create a nonprofit. So it is our goal that hopefully through this amazing new project that we started not long ago, that we can continue to win victories for immigrants at the local level, right? Because oftentimes we feel like, oh, okay, immigration, Latinos, whatever, that's not a me problem. That is happening at the border. That is happening in other places, especially when people read about or hear about immigration in the news, in the radio. They're like, oh, okay, that's happening somewhere else. They don't realize that immigrants are actually everywhere. Immigrants are your coworkers. Immigrants are your friends. Immigrants are your neighbors. Immigrants are the people that you go to church with. We're everywhere, and we, like I say, we contribute so much to many places across the nation. So it is necessary that when immigrants are not able to work, when they're not able to advocate for themselves, it is necessary that there's organizations that are there to help them.
Okay. All right. And again, we said everyone share. It's important to understand that again, this is Migrant Equity Southeast. And so then Daniela, we'll come to you and this gets a little bit more personal. Why did you get what motivated you to get involved in this mission and this effort? What motivated you to get involved in this, to do this
Yeah.
work?
Yeah, so I became an organizer and advocate when I was 19 during my first year of college. And the reason why is because, so in the state of Georgia, there is actually education segregation. There is education segregation for
Mhm.
undocumented students who want access to higher education. So in the state of Georgia. So what I'm saying is that if so there's two different laws. One of them doesn't allow undocumented students to pay in-state tuition. It doesn't matter if they pay Georgia taxes. It doesn't matter if they grew up in Georgia, if they went to high school in Georgia. If they want to go to college, they have to pay 3 times as much. I can give you an example. For instance, in Georgia Southern, like back in the day when I was in college, in order to be a full-time student, you had to pay 3,000 a semester. However, you were undocumented, you had to pay 3 times as much, meaning that you had to pay 9,000 a semester. And undocumented students don't have access to government help or hope or like those old or those scholarships, or even like they're not able to take loans. So this makes it really hard for gifted, brilliant students to go to college in the state of Georgia. Not only that, but also um, undocumented students are not able to attend some of the top public colleges in the state of Georgia, such as UGA or Georgia Tech. These are the same colleges that used to segregate Black students not long ago, but now they're segregating undocumented students. So we live in a state in which it seems that because of your immigration status, you don't have access to higher education, when it shouldn't be like that, because education is a human right. And it seems that the way that the system is, they want undocumented immigrants to clean houses, to do the hard labor jobs, but they don't want undocumented immigrants to be the doctors, to be the lawyers, to be like to have like all those other jobs. And so because of this, the injustices with access to higher education, um, I will see on the news that there were many activists or community organizers fighting for this. And me also as an undocumented immigrant, I decided like I love it that other people are fighting for me, but I don't just want to sit down. I actually want to do something too. I was
Mhm.
angry at the system,
Mhm.
And so that's why I decided to become an activist, because the injustices that were happening and that continue to happen in the state of Georgia affected me.
And now I'm gonna share with you. That's why one of the reasons why when I was asking you about where you're from, I want you to throw that out there and say you're from Brunswick. So some people looking at the show right now, they live right here. They live right here in coastal Georgia, and they too see inequities. They do see injustices, and just like you said, you did not want to just sit down. You want to stand up and do something about it. So that's
Right,
why I want people to understand that here goes someone who lives right here in coastal Georgia. She says she saw something. She saw injustice. So as opposed to her sitting down silent and just let other people handle it, she said, I have to get involved. And so that's why I wanted that to come out so people understand someone sitting here now checking the show out, that they can realize that they too have to stand up and also stand up against injustice and bring about, fairness and equity for everyone. And so
right.
now I asked this question of you. Who are the people that are serviced by MACE? Who are the people serviced by Migrant Equity Southeast?
Yeah, right. Just as the name says, the people that we serve are immigrants or mixed status families. We Our focus is like our focus are people who, well, immigrants who are not eligible for government help, and people whose first language is not English. And the reason why is because oftentimes, when like people don't speak English, they have a tough time navigating the system, knowing what kind of help, what kind of resources are out there for them, as well as oftentimes when people, like the communities that we work with, they don't have specific documents in order to receive help. One example that I can give you is during the pandemic, like during COVID. Like in 2020, there were a lot of undocumented families who lost their jobs, and at the same time, they were not eligible to receive government help because of their immigration status, right? And so we had hundreds of people who were hungry, who didn't have food, who were about to be homeless. And once again, a lot of like there's help for immigrants, but a lot of this help, many times, like the help, it's um centralized in Atlanta. And over here in South Georgia, like they help, like when there were organizations hoping to help immigrants, but they will ask for like a driver's license. In the state of Georgia, if you're undocumented, you don't have access to a driver's license. Or if they will give help for rent assistance, they will ask for like a lease that was signed. Undocumented immigrants oftentimes, because they're not, I mean, they're able to build credit, but it's just very hard. So a lot of undocumented immigrants don't have credit. So like they're not able to show credit, they're not able to show IDs, social security, just very complicated navigating the system. And so those are the people that we help, like the people who just struggle to have access to a specific resources that they need in order to survive, such as like healthcare, legal, education, you name it. Yeah, those are the people that we help.
Okay. And with regards to MACE, are you able to help migrants who are, say, if they're non-Hispanics, if they are Asian or if they are African, are you able to assist them?
Yes, of course. Like the highest number of people that we help are Hispanics, because that's like the highest immigrant community that we have here in Savannah. However, we're also able to help like anyone, especially if they're not US citizens. We have helped people from Jamaica before, other people from the Caribbean. So definitely, like a lot of the materials that we put out there in Spanish, because again, like Hispanic is the or Spanish speaking are like the highest number of um, immigrants that we have, but that doesn't mean that the help that we provide is only for Hispanics.
Right.
If
And
they're immigrants, even if they're struggling, we are happy to help.
All right. And that's why I want folks who are looking at the show, checking out the show, understand that again, it's not just with regard to Hispanics, but it's also tied to if they are migrants to this country right here, if they are immigrants to this country right here, it's for any and everyone. Because some people may be thinking, they might say, oh, it's just for Hispanics. So I say, no, we want you to understand that it can help you too. If you come from South America, if you're from Brazil, if you're from Aruba, if you're from Curacao, if you're from Nigeria, if you're from New Delhi, that again, you have an organization here that can assist you with regards to navigating through some of the loopholes. I mean, through the system that's in place that sometimes will be a little harsh with regards to that. So now we come to this right here. What do you feel are our obligations, or what are our obligations to our brothers and our sisters? What are our obligations to one another? What's your thoughts on that?
Obligations as far as like for immigrants, for Hispanics.
For any and everyone, what should we be doing? Right? What should we do for Hispanics, for immigrants? What are our obligations? Because again, sometimes we do sit and watch other people, but then we don't get involved. And so that's why I'm just exploring this more with regards to what are your thoughts with regards to that?
Right. I feel like our obligation is to not forget about our friends, right? Like, I know there's a saying that says that when this group of people were attacked, I didn't say anything. When this other group of people were attacked, I didn't say anything. And when I was attacked, no one said something for me. So definitely, I think it's important to remember, especially in the topic of immigration, that this country, it's a country of immigrants, right? Especially
Mhm. Yes.
this country is a country of immigrants, except for the native indigenous people. But
Yes.
yeah, and so definitely, I feel like everyone has the power to advocate and do something. It doesn't have to be big. It doesn't have to be in public. It doesn't have to be every day all the time. But you can always stand up for doing what is right, right? Like one example that I can give is we know that there's many people in our families who can be anti-immigrant, who can be racist, who can be not accepting of the other, as people like to call it.
Mhm.
But there's always like family gatherings like Thanksgiving, Christmas. Those are your, I'm not saying ruin the family gathering. I'm saying like do what is right. Speak up for immigrants, speak up for speak up against injustices. Definitely. I do feel like all of us have the power to do something no matter how small it is. It takes all of us to create a better society, to create a better world.
Yes, absolutely, absolutely. And what does empowerment mean to you? What does empowerment mean to you? When you hear
And
empowerment, what does that mean to you?
right, empowerment means like not just surviving. Like
Mm, mm,
empowerment means thinking that there's something better out there, that we deserve something better. Empowerment means that like that at least for me, like that regardless of my immigration status, that I'm still a human, that I still have a voice, and that the laws don't define me, that I know who I am and I have the power to change something. Not only that, but I have the power to bring others to the cause. I
mm,
have the power to mobilize people.
mm, mm,
Yeah, that's what feels as
mm,
empowerment.
mm,
That
mm.
no
Yeah.
matter what, yeah, empowerment, that it means that no matter what other people would like to call me, that like I know who I am and I know that I'm a human, and that doesn't make me, that my immigration status doesn't make me any less.
Mm,
And the goal is that for everyone, for the 11 million of undocumented people or more in this country, feel just as empowered.
mm,
That they don't
mm,
feel guilty for wanting to follow the American dream, for wanting better opportunities. That's
mm,
what empowerment is about.
mm, mm. Yes, yes, yes. I'm so glad you said that because I want people to hear and understand that when you talk about empowerment, the words that you're hearing, and this is Daniela Rodriguez, the executive director for Migrant Equity Southeast, and that these words, what she just said, are universal words, and that many of us need to embrace that concept. Many of us need to take that in and understand, because I know some people, we see people, we work with people, we live next to people, we go to school with some people who do not feel empowered. And so, because they do not feel empowered, they endure all of the hardships that should not happen. And you said something, Daniela, that I tell people all the time: it's about my humanity. I say I must have people respect my humanity. No matter what, I'm going to make sure that my humanity is respected and that my people's humanity is respected. So often people brush it aside, they dismiss it, and treat people in ways that are absolutely horrific. And some of us go along with it because we don't understand our own humanity. And that's why I want people to understand. We tell people on Run Tell That and all our other forms that it's about respecting one's humanity. And so we segue to this. How do you empower a community? How do you empower a community? And what are the ways that you do that? How do you empower a community? And what are the ways that we can do that?
I would say the way to empower communities is to educate them about the rights, like educate them
Okay.
about the rights, empowering them. Knowledge is power. I strongly believe that knowledge is power. And so when we share knowledge, we empower communities. When we share examples of victories that have happened in other places, like we can imagine a better world, but it's better when we see it happening in other places. One example that I can always give is like when we imagine um, like a community that is more immigrant friendly. Oftentimes when you live in a community that is not immigrant friendly, you normalize it. You think, okay, this is it, that's how it is. I guess this is what we deserve. Like, no, like you have to believe that better things are possible. You have to believe that, sure, maybe one voice is not enough, but us as people, we have collective power. And us as people with collective power, we know that there's entities that are scared of that. That
Mhm,
they're scared
mhm,
of
mhm,
the power of the people. Um,
mhm,
and I always like to talk about victories that happen in other places, such as let's say, sure, like as I mentioned before, sure, maybe we lived in a place that is not as immigrant friendly, but that doesn't mean that that's how it should be. Look at other states, look at other counties, look at other other states, other counties where people have organized, where people have been outspoken and they have been successful in like getting what they want. So it is possible. It's just a matter of speaking up, having collective power, and always doing your part. Like, sure, maybe you don't want to speak in public, but you can do the social media. You can be the volunteer organizer. There's something always that you can do in order to empower your community.
Yes, absolutely, absolutely. And powerful words, also powerful words coming from you. And that I think somebody, well, I should say, some of you sitting at home right now checking out the show or at work checking out the show, you need to heed the words that are being said by Daniela Rodriguez. You need to heed those words. You need to listen to those words and not infuse that into your life, because that is something, again, that we tend to promote on this platform right here, saying that you have the power to make the change. And you can do it in various ways, whatever. Just like you said, if you don't want to speak publicly, you don't be out there, then you can use social media, or you can do a letter writing campaign. You can email campaign. You can email, you can voice, you can put it out, you can let it be known, or then share the word with other people. It's just that simple with regards to bringing about change. And when Danielle, when you said that there are entities, there are forces out there who don't want to see us to be unified. They don't want to see the people come together. And that's one of the great things that we're about, trying to empower the people so they understand they can make a change and that they determine what will happen in this society. So yes, man, we are right there with you 100% understand, because that is a common objective for many of us who are seeking justice and equality and equity. So now we come to, what are some of the programs and the projects and efforts of MACE? What are some of the projects that you all have and the programs that you all have? let the public know about
Yeah, for sure. Yeah. So for the programs that we have, um, we, as I mentioned, we started during COVID. So that has kind of like slowed down a little bit, but we still continue with direct services. So we do food assistance, we do rent assistance, we have diapers, like we have an office in which we have like a small area in which we have baby clothes, we have diapers, we have food, those just direct services. We also have a healthcare program in which we make sure that we educate community members about their rights, like even if they're not U.S. citizen, they have the right to receive access to healthcare even if they don't have like health insurance, like they need to know the rights. We have a program in which we educate people about their housing rights. We
it.
have, yeah, so such as like it if they like, so they know that regardless of their immigration status, if they have a house, they need to know the rights. If they're renting, they need to know the rights.
Hmm.
Oftentimes, there's landlords who like to take advantage of the community. They like to scare them, but this is what we do, so we can again empower the people, let them know the rights.
Yeah.
Um, with going back, one thing that I forgot to mention was that during through our healthcare program, we have been able to host to organize 40 vaccine events, COVID vaccine events,
Yeah.
and we were able to provide vaccines for a little bit more than 1,000 people from our community.
Okay.
Little more than 1,000, and during every vaccine event that we had, we always had someone who spoke Spanish, and we had so many conversations with the community. Oftentimes, we were able to persuade people to get a vaccine. Other times, we were not. However, it was still important to have those conversations because it's important to fight the disinformation that oftentimes is out there
Hmm.
about the vaccine. So yeah, so healthcare, housing rights, labor rights, advocacy. We like to we one thing that we do through our advocacy program is that we try to win victories for immigrants, or we try to advocate against laws that are anti-immigrant. Um, we do this at the local level, the state level, and the federal level, uh, because there's so many so many laws that try to attack immigrants from different levels. So that is what we do with our advocacy program. We do civic engagement for
Hmm.
Latinos. We like to make sure that eligible Latino voters are engaged, that they exercise the right to vote,
Yes.
they know like the important dates, that they know where to register to vote, that they know where to go out and vote, that they know the importance of voting. Um, not only for like presidential elections, but especially for like municipal elections, because we know that oftentimes those are very important and not many Latinos participate on that. So it is our goal to go out there to do canvassing, phone banking, text banking, events,
Hmm.
you name it, in order to make sure that Latinos exercise the rights to vote. And another program that we have is that we help. Oh, we have an education program. Right now, we see that the Chatham County, the public schools, they don't have a lot of funding for ESOL students, so students who are learning English.
Hmm.
Oftentimes, we hear from Hispanic parents that they try to go to the schools and that they're not able to communicate with anyone because oftentimes they don't have enough staff who speak Spanish. So they feel lost when they try to talk to teachers, when they try to ask for transportation, for like a school bus transportation for their children. There's many things that are not okay right now, but obviously we believe that it can be better. We believe that we can win victories for immigrant communities. And so through our program, we make sure to empower parents. We make sure to let them know that, like, listen, like if your kid is going to school, you have the right to know what is happening with education of your child, because we believe that when parents, or like when mom or dad, when they're involved in the education of their children, children have a higher chance of being successful in school. And so
Mhm.
we that is what we do with our education program. We like to educate parents about all the benefits that an American school system can offer, such as like know the difference between a regular class versus a gifted class, a,
Mhm.
know what is dual enrollment, know that your child doesn't have to go to like a regular college. They can go to a technical college and they
Mhm.
will still do well. Know the benefits of after school activities. Like all of these things, we like to educate parents so they know, right?
Mhm.
Uh, and yeah, those are like the programs that we have to help the community.
And I say excellent because again, some of the people who are listening and checking out the show right now, you're listening to her. You're listening to again Daniela Rodriguez, executive director for MACE. That you're listening to her. And you're saying, wait a minute, that applies to us too. That's why we have her on here for you all to understand that we're all in this together. That the same concern you say about parents not feeling like they have a voice within the school, that people are listening to them, and that they sometimes are intimidated by what's going on regarding the child inside that school. Again, that is something that is common to all of us. So I want you all out there to run tell that family. We want you all to share, 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 because this right here is relevant to all of us. It's not just one segment of us. And some of you talk about this and think that it's just us. And that's why I tell people this stuff is universal with regard to people who are oppressed. And that's why oftentimes we talk about we isolate in our own little niche, our own little circle. But I'm saying it's much larger. And that's why we want to make this show make sure people understand it is broad based. And so, absolutely. And so, how can people support MACE? How can people support Migrant Equity Southeast?
People can support Migrant Equity Southeast by volunteering. They can go to our website at migrantequity.org, and there's a place where they can fill out a form. If they're interested in volunteering, they can fill it out, and then we'll get in touch with them. Um, they can support by donating. Obviously, like through our programs, we are always looking for funding in order to do more and be
Yeah.
able to help more people. They can also donate by going to our website at migrantequity.org. I strongly suggest that people follow our social medias. We have Facebook, we have Instagram, and we have TikTok now, to connect with the youth. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
And so, yeah, definitely. Oftentimes we send out like petitions about something that is happening, such as like right now, there is an ICE detention center that wants to expand, and we're trying to fight that. So sometimes we go out there. It's happening in Folkestone, Georgia,
Well,
where
yes.
where the ICE detention center wants to expand. If it were
Mm-hmm.
to expand, it will become one of the biggest ICE detention centers in the nation here in Georgia, South Georgia. Um, and so we're always looking for people who just want to connect, who want to do something. Again, we have many different programs, and they able to join us in with like many different programs, and we have many different opportunities. But definitely, like volunteering, donating, when we share something like when we put something out in social media, like you can share. For example, not long ago we were trying to collect shirts, hats, and many different items for immigrant farm workers for Vidalia and Tifton, who
Mm-hmm.
suffer because when, like, we know the summer was hot. It was really hot outside, and there's many immigrant farm workers who work outside, and they're exposed to the heat, and they're exposed to the chemicals, and this is bad for them. So we were collecting items that will make life a little bit easier for them. And so we had three different businesses who offer their space for us to have a donation box there. And so we so that was an opportunity. Another opportunity is that every year We like to do back to school events in which we have school supply. We donate school supplies for immigrant kids. And so if people want to donate to that, like they don't have to give a monetary donation. They can always just like go, like if they check our social media, they will see some other places where they can drop off the items that they have, or if they need one of us to go pick it up, we can also do that. What else? Every year during Christmas, we like to do like an immigrant toy distribution for kids, for immigrant kids.
Mm-hmm.
The first year that we did it, we gave out, I want to say like 25 to 30 toys for children. But last year we were able to distribute 200 toys for
Okay.
immigrant children. Yeah. So it is our goal that this year, hopefully, we do 200 or more. And so we're always looking for like donations, like people want to donate. Again, if they want to donate the item, or if they want to donate a monetary donation and they want us to buy it, we can also do that. So just get in touch with us. They can also reach out to us, like again, in our social media, in our website, or they can also reach out to us in our email, migrantequitysoutheast@gmail.com. And so yeah, there's many ways that people can advocate, but the most important way in which people can help us is by advocating for immigrants every day.
Okay.
Mhm.
All right. Now, I'll throw this out there to you. What are the challenges that you see us facing right now, and how can we achieve victory? What are some of the challenges that you see us facing right now, and how can we achieve victory?
So the challenges right now is definitely, we see that in the US there's many, like there's a lot of hate. There's a lot of people who are racist, and we don't want that. We don't want We want people to feel accepted. I know that there's people who say, "Well, I can accept you if you come the right way."
Mm,
But they don't
mm,
even
mm,
and
mm,
I'm just like,
mm,
when you go to church, is
mm,
that
mm.
what God tells you? That
Okay.
you should not accept everyone, you should only accept the people
Okay.
who come the right way?
Mm,
Like
mm,
like see yourself in
mm,
the mirror and
mm,
reflect
mm,
how
mm,
that is not
mm,
a language
mm,
of welcoming.
mm.
Uh,
Okay.
right. So we want to change that. We believe that people can be more accepting. We believe that we can achieve we
Mhm,
believe that that there's like a better world out there, and that we should not forget that at the end of the day, all of us are humans, that all of us deserve the chance to dream better
mhm,
opportunities. So definitely, we one of the biggest problems right now is that there's many people out there who have hate in their hearts. There's many people out there who are racist, not accepting. Uh, we know that like the political climate, there's many laws that are not welcoming to immigrants. They're anti-immigrants.
mhm,
Um, there's also another challenge is that many immigrants don't have access to many resources like housing, healthcare, jobs, and education. And we want to change that. We believe that people can change this when they vote. This is
mhm,
why we do what we do with civic engagement.
mhm.
And and this is why, like, we believe in the power of our voice and collective power, and this is what we do. But definitely, just because things are the way they are now doesn't mean that they have to stay the same. Things can be
Okay.
better.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Yes, yes, indeed. Yes, indeed. Great words. Great words. And I have to go and say this that again, your words are so true and they are ringing well. And that is something that's important for us, to all of us to understand that. And that's again, collective power. Excellent with regards to that. And so I'll ask this of you. What are you most proud of with regards to the work that you've been involved in, and with regards to Mace? What are you proud of? What are some of the things that you've been proud of regarding your work?
There's so many things that I'm proud of, but I'm most definitely proud of knowing that I'm not alone, knowing that as I continue to fight for the humanity of my community to be seen, I know that I'm not alone. Like I know that I have a
Mhm.
community. Sure, like there's many haters, but there's also many people who are willing to support. There's many people who are willing to speak up for immigrants.
Mhm.
Uh, there's many people who are just out there willing to help. Um, so oftentimes it feels like you're alone in the
Mhm.
fight, but through this work I have seen that that is not the case. um,
Okay.
we're not alone. There's many people willing to help, and yeah, those are like one of the biggest things that I'm most proud of. I'm also proud that again we have been able to help hundreds, like thousands of people, not only in Chatham County but other counties as well. That like
Mhm.
other smaller counties that don't have access to resources due to the distance or due to the place where they are. We have been able to empower them. We have been able to help them in in healthcare, legal help, education help. Like we have been able to really impact the lives of immigrants, and that is amazing to know that we're helping immigrants and to know that we are not alone because we have a community that we can always count on.
Wonderful, wonderful, wonderful. Absolutely wonderful. And it's been wonderful to have you on the show and to have this conversation going on. And so, one thing I did think about, need to throw it out there, what are the counties that Mace is involved in? Because I want some people to kind of have an idea, those out there, to at least get some idea of the counties that you all involved in doing the work in, to get
Yes,
over our their brains. So, yes.
sure. Yeah, I'm not sure if I can remember all of them on the top of my
Yeah,
head,
you ain't
but
got to
I can
remember, at
mention
least some people
some.
understand the wealth of counties because, yes.
Yeah, it is Chatham County, Bolo County, Glynn County, Liberty County, Effingham County. I can't
I think
remember.
you mentioned like Claxton. I mean, Camden County is Camden,
Yeah,
Folkestone,
Camden.
Flint, Charlton.
Yeah.
hmm
Uh, I
And
know
then
that it's 13 different counties. I just can't remember
okay, all
all of
right.
them at the moment.
Again, so we want you to understand. So if you're up in Glenville, again, if you're up in Claxton, that again, also you have a source because you're still part of the Southeast, and that it is important that you have an organization, you have an entity here that can help you with regards to navigating, as I say, through these obstacles that sometimes these are artificial obstacles. And what you heard from Daniela, that I think again, who was also the executive director for Maze, Daniela Rodriguez, that she talked about victories, and that's what we talk about. That we ultimately believe in victories. We believe in that. We subscribe to that. And so you heard her saying that. That's why we say all of us, when you're in this work, we believe in victories. Now,
Hmm.
I'm going to throw a question out that you. Oh, well, actually, I'm going to do this right here. What word of inspiration do you want to give? Because we don't let you give have the last word. What word of inspiration do you want to provide to the people who are checking out the show right now?
Well, it's kind of hard, but I would say like definitely like don't give up. Don't give up. Believe in people's power. Don't give up. Believe in people's power. Imagine that there's a better world out there and that you're doing your part when you do something. Oftentimes, I know we want to change the system, and oftentimes, many people they do something and they think that change will happen tomorrow.
Mm-hmm.
Many
Mm-hmm.
times, that's not how it works. Oftentimes, change takes time, but it happens. And that there's people out there watching, that there's people out there who are inspired by you. Definitely, I know like younger people, younger generations, they're watching and they're being inspired by you because they're watching. They will see if you do something, but they would also see if you do nothing.
That's right.
Yeah. And
Super.
so definitely don't give up. Believe that we can continue winning victories, that there's a better world out there, and that it's possible, and that we don't have to wait for other generations to make it better, because we are the generation that can make it better. So yeah, those are my words of inspiration. And definitely, I believe that immigrants are here to stay, and that everyone, regardless of their immigration status, deserves to be treated with dignity and respect. Yeah.
All right, powerful words, powerful words. We thank you for being on the show. And the last question I have for you, and as I shared, we want you to get the question right. We want you to get it right. We want you to get it right. The question is, what is the best high school in Savannah, Chatham County, Georgia? But we're going to take it out. We're going to say, what is the best high school in Southeast Georgia? What is the best high school in Southeast Georgia? Daniela Rodriguez, what is the best high school in the Southeast? What is the best high school?
In the Southeast?
Yes,
I'm gonna have to go with my high school. So Glen Academy. Glen Academy. That's gonna be the best high school.
Wrong answer. Wrong answer. It is Jenkins High School. See that I knew it. I tried to tell you, okay. But again, we're still glad to have you on the show. But everyone knows it is Jenkins High School. We know that when you talk about hate, there's a lot of hate against Jenkins, because I'm going to say this. Glen Academy used to cheat Jenkins all the time. I'm just saying, when they come down to Brunswick, they would cheat all the time.
Okay, yeah. I don't know. I didn't play any sports.
I'm just saying, even if it was debate, anything, we know. But yeah, but we were glad to have you on the show.
Thank you so much for inviting me.
That's right. We're glad to have you.
And I hope people get in contact with us if they ever want to help immigrants, or if they know of any families who need help. We're happy to help.
All right. And give them email and contact information again as we're about to close out the show, so that way they can get in touch with you.
Yeah, for sure. So if people want to get in touch with us, they can go to our website at migrantequity.org. They can look for our Facebook, Migrant Equity Southeast, or they can look for our Instagram, Migrant Equity Southeast, or MESE, MESE_GA. And they can also send us an email at migrantequitysoutheast@gmail.com. So yeah, there's many ways to get in touch with us. Definitely, anybody who wants to help, we will welcome all the help.
All right. We appreciate you. We thank you for joining us on Run Tell That. We said, everyone, share. And we say, peace and blessings. Y'all be safe and enjoy yourselves and look out for others. All right. Thanks again.
Thank you.
Peace and blessings. All right. We're signing out.